Have you ever stood in front of your closet, staring at your clothes, and thought to yourself, nothing feels right anymore? Maybe the colors feel too loud, the cuts feel too young, or the fit just doesn't fit who you are now. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, especially after turning 60, our bodies change, our lifestyles shift, and our sense of self evolves. And yet, so often, we're left trying to dress ourselves using rules that no longer apply to the women we've become. But here's the good news. Getting older doesn't mean fading into the background. In fact, it's the perfect time to reclaim your confidence, celebrate your shape, and dress in a way that feels not just flattering, but authentically you. In this video, we're going to talk about 9 fashion traps that many women over 60, especially those of us who are petite, fall into without even realizing it. These mistakes can make you look shorter, wider, or just less vibrant than you truly are. And we're not here to shame anyone. We're here to shine a light on the small changes that can make a big difference. These are not just style tips. They're little acts of self-respect, ways to remind yourself every time you get dressed that you are still powerful, still beautiful, and still very much here. So stay with me until the end, because tip number 1 is something almost every woman I know has struggled with. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. Let's begin. Mistake number 1, not defining your waist. Let's start with one of the most common and most overlooked style mistakes, not defining your waist. Now, I get it. Our bodies change as we age. Maybe you've gained a little softness around the middle, or maybe your shape isn't quite what it used to be. And because of that, you might feel tempted to hide it. Loose tops, flowy dresses, and oversized cardigans can feel safe. They don't cling. They don't expose anything. They just float. But here's the truth. When you wear clothing that hides your waist completely, you also hide your natural shape. And for petite women especially, that means you lose your proportions. You may unintentionally appear shorter, wider, or shapeless, none of which reflect who you really are. Defining your waist doesn't mean squeezing yourself into tight or uncomfortable clothes. It simply means bringing back some structure to your outfit, gently guiding the eye to the beautiful curves you already have. Try a belt around the narrowest part of your torso, not too tight, just enough to bring in some shape, or look for dresses and blouses with a bit of tailoring, those that naturally nip in at the waist. High-waisted pants and skirts can also create that elegant line that makes your legs look longer and your frame more balanced. When you define your waist, you're not just creating a more flattering silhouette. You're reminding yourself and the world that your body is something to be seen, respected, and celebrated. You are not invisible, and your clothes should never make you feel that way. Mistake number 2, wearing shapeless boxy jackets. Let's talk about jackets, specifically those big boxy ones that hang straight down with no shape at all. We've all owned one. Maybe it was cozy. Maybe it was easy to throw on over anything. But here's the thing. While shapeless jackets may feel comfortable, they don't do our figures any favors. Especially if you're petite, a boxy jacket can swallow you up, hide your curves, and make you appear shorter and wider than you really are. Why? Because structure matters. When a jacket lacks definition, when it doesn't hug your waist or follow the natural lines of your body, it removes all sense of proportion. And without that proportion, your outfit starts to look like it's wearing you, instead of the other way around. But the good news? You don't need to give up comfort to look polished. Look for jackets that are gently tailored, styles that taper slightly at the waist, or have seams that give shape without squeezing. Cropped jackets that hit right at or just below your waist are fantastic for petite women. They help define your upper body and make your legs look longer. You can also try adding a belt over a jacket for an instant hourglass effect. Stylish and effortless. Think of it this way. You are not a rectangle. You have form, you have presence, and your clothes should celebrate that. A well-shaped jacket is like a quiet confidence. It says you know who you are, and you're not afraid to show it. Mistake number 3, wearing loud, oversized prints. Let's move into the world of prints. Florals, geometrics, polka dots, all those beautiful patterns that can add personality to your wardrobe. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Oversized, loud prints can overwhelm a petite frame. You see, when a print is too large, like big flowers, chunky shapes, or bold splashes of color, it draws all the attention to itself. Not to you, not to your smile, not to the grace you carry with you. Just the print. And especially if you're on the shorter side, these big patterns can make you look smaller by comparison. The print becomes the star of the outfit instead of you. But that doesn't mean you have to avoid patterns altogether. Not at all. In fact, the right print can highlight your personality, bring light to your face, and add joy to your outfit. The key is scale. Look for smaller, more delicate patterns. Think tiny florals, soft polka dots, or fine stripes. These kinds of prints won't overpower your figure. Instead, they complement it. They create visual harmony, a sense of balance that keeps the focus where it belongs, on you. And here's something to remember. You don't need your clothes to shout in order to be seen. You've lived, you've loved, you've built a life. That's the real pattern that matters, the one you wear on your heart. So let your outfit support your presence, not compete with it. Mistake number 4, ignoring vertical lines. This next one is a quiet trick. Almost invisible but incredibly powerful. Vertical lines. If you've ever wished your outfit could make you look just a little taller, a little more elongated, this is the tip for you. Vertical lines are one of the simplest ways to create the illusion of height and balance, especially for petite women. They guide the eye up and down rather than side to side, which helps your frame appear longer and more streamlined. But here's the part many women overlook. Vertical lines aren't just stripes on a shirt. They can be found in all sorts of subtle places. Think about a long row of buttons down the front of a blouse, a vertical seam on a dress, a long cardigan worn open, even a delicate pendant necklace that falls in a straight line can work in your favor. When you build your outfit with vertical elements, you're creating a natural path for the eye to follow, from the top of your head to the tips of your shoes, and that movement makes you appear taller, leaner, and more graceful. It's like standing tall in your story instead of sinking into the background. So next time you're getting dressed, ask yourself, is there a way to add just one vertical detail? It doesn't have to be loud or dramatic, just intentional, because elegance, especially after 60, often comes from the quiet things, the little touches that say, I know who I am. Mistake number 5, wearing low-waisted clothing. Let's talk about one of the most subtle but impactful styling mistakes, wearing low-waisted pants, skirts, or jeans. Now, this might come as a surprise. After all, low-rise bottoms were hugely popular in decades past. Some of us still have a few pairs tucked away in the back of our closets from the early 2000s. But here's the truth. For petite women, and especially for women over 60, whose bodies have naturally changed, low-waisted clothing can throw off your proportions in a big way. When you wear something that sits low on your hips, it elongates your torso and shortens your legs. That creates an optical illusion, one that makes your body look more bottom-heavy and your overall silhouette less balanced. And unfortunately, it also draws attention to the midsection, often the very area we're trying to soften, not spotlight. Now, I want to pause here and say something important. There's nothing wrong with your body. Nothing. The goal here isn't to change who you are. It's to work with your body, not against it, so that what you wear helps you feel your very best. And the simplest solution for this particular issue is to embrace high-waisted or mid-rise styles. These cuts sit closer to your natural waist, the narrowest part of your torso, and by doing so, they visually elongate your legs. The eye starts higher, which means you look taller and more proportionate, even if you're only 5 feet tall. High-waisted pants also offer more gentle support around the belly area, which many women find more comfortable, especially compared to low-rise waistbands that tend to cut in awkwardly or slip down throughout the day. And skirts? Same rule applies. A high-waisted skirt, especially one that flows away from the body or includes a bit of structure, can create a beautiful hourglass shape without being tight or restrictive. The result is an outfit that feels pulled together, flattering, and, most importantly, effortless. And remember, this isn't about dressing to impress anyone else. This is about choosing clothes that respect your body, your experience, and your style. Right now, at this stage of life, a higher waistline can literally lift how you carry yourself, not just physically, but emotionally. It says, I'm not shrinking myself to fit old trends. I'm rising into who I've become. So the next time you go to reach for those old low-rise jeans, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me look and feel the way I want to feel today? Because the beauty of aging isn't just in the wisdom we've gained, it's in having the confidence to dress in a way that matches it. Mistake number 6, wearing wide leg or baggy pants. Let's take a moment to talk about pants, specifically wide leg or overly baggy styles that can do more harm than good when it comes to balance, proportion, and how you feel in your clothes. Now, to be fair, wide leg pants have made a strong comeback in recent years. They're all over fashion magazines, on younger influencers, and even in some store mannequins targeting older women. And on tall, straight-framed models, they can look effortlessly chic. But here's the honest truth. For petite women, especially those over 60, wide leg or baggy pants can easily overwhelm your frame and leave you looking heavier and shorter than you are. It's not just about size, it's about shape. When pants are too loose or billowy, especially through the hips and thighs, they create unnecessary volume in the lower half of your body. And if you're already petite, this added volume can throw off your visual balance, making your legs look stubbier and your silhouette less defined. What might have felt flowy and relaxed in theory ends up reading as bulky and shapeless in reality. But let me be clear, this doesn't mean you have to wear skinny jeans or tight slacks to look good. Not at all. It's not about tight, it's about tailored. Pants that gently follow the line of your leg, whether they're slim fit, straight leg, or lightly tapered, will help you look more put together without sacrificing comfort. If you do love a wider leg, and yes, it's absolutely possible to make them work, the key is to be intentional. Opt for cropped, wide-leg pants that hit just above the ankle and pair them with a more fitted top or a belt to define your waist. The contrast between the volume below and structure up top can actually help restore visual harmony to your frame. Another great tip: make sure the fabric has some movement, but still holds its shape. Flimsy, overly drapey materials can cling or sag in the wrong places, while stiff or structured fabrics keep the silhouette crisp and clean. That simple difference can take your outfit from sloppy weekend to casual elegance with very little effort. And don't forget about your shoes. The right footwear can make or break a wider leg look. A small wedge, a pointed flat, or a shoe in the same color as your pant leg can help elongate your legs and keep everything flowing vertically. Because the goal isn't just to follow a trend, it's to feel confident in what you wear. When your clothes reflect who you are today, not who the fashion industry says you should be, that's when style becomes empowering. So next time you try on a pair of pants, take a good look in the mirror. Ask yourself, Do these pants support my shape or hide it? Because at this stage of life, your shape doesn't need to be hidden. It deserves to be honored. Mistake number 7, wearing heavy, bulky shoes. Let's shift our attention downward to something we often take for granted, our shoes. Now, shoes might not be the first thing you think of when it comes to style, but for petite women over 60, the wrong footwear can dramatically affect not just how you look, but how you feel. And one of the biggest missteps? Choosing heavy, clunky, or overly bulky shoes. Let's be honest. We all love comfort. As we get older, our feet change. We want shoes that support us, that don't pinch, that feel stable and safe. But too often, in the name of comfort, we end up in shoes that are thick-soled, boxy, or just plain overwhelming. Think chunky sneakers, orthopedic-looking loafers, or big, square boots. While they may offer physical support, they can visually weigh you down and make your whole outfit feel off balance. The truth is, bulky shoes tend to shorten the line of your leg. Instead of creating a smooth flow from hip to toe, they cut your body off at the ankle. For someone with a petite frame, that can take away any height and elegance you've worked so hard to build with the rest of your outfit. Even worse, they often draw the eye straight to the ground and away from your face, your energy, your presence. So what's the solution? Start by looking for shoes that are sleek, structured, and low profile, ones that gently follow the shape of your foot without adding extra volume. A simple pointed toe flat, for example, can instantly elongate your legs. Even better if the shoe is in a neutral tone that matches your skin or your pants. This creates an uninterrupted line that keeps the focus flowing upward. If you prefer a bit of height, go for a low wedge or a small block heel. These give you lift without sacrificing stability. And if you have foot issues, like plantar fasciitis or bunions, there are more brands than ever before offering stylish, supportive shoes designed with older women in mind. You don't have to choose between comfort and beauty anymore. You deserve both. One more tip. Avoid ankle straps that cut across your leg unless they're in a tone very close to your skin. They can visually shorten your legs by drawing a horizontal line where you want vertical flow. And perhaps most importantly, listen to your body. The best shoe is the one that lets you move confidently and gracefully without pain or hesitation. But the right shoe style, that's what lets you do it while looking like the best version of yourself. Because how you feel in your shoes affects how you carry yourself. And how you carry yourself? That's the first thing the world sees. So yes, shoes matter. And you don't need to settle for clunky and dull. Your steps are still strong. Let your style reflect that strength. One beautiful, balanced step at a time. Mistake number 8, wearing long skirts that cut off the legs. Let's talk about skirts, a staple in many women's wardrobes, especially as we move into our 60s and beyond. Skirts can be comfortable, feminine, and forgiving in all the right places. But there's one styling mistake that can quietly work against us, wearing skirts that are too long in the wrong way. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently bad about a long skirt. But if you're petite, and especially if your skirt hits too low without the right structure or styling, it can make your legs look shorter and your whole frame feel weighed down. Here's what happens. When a skirt falls mid-calf or lower, especially if it's wide or flowing, it can visually cut off the length of your legs. Instead of elongating your silhouette, it divides it. And when that happens, even the most elegant outfit can start to look heavy, or worse, frumpy. But we can fix that, and it doesn't mean giving up on longer lengths entirely. The key is in the cut, the waistline, and the details. For example, a skirt that's high-waisted will naturally make your legs appear longer because it raises the visual starting point of your lower body. A gentle A-line cut or a skirt with a front or side slit can add movement and vertical flow, both of which help balance your frame and create a lengthening effect. And don't underestimate the power of a mighty skirt, one that hits just below the knee or at the upper calf. These can be incredibly flattering when styled correctly. Just make sure they don't fall at the widest part of your calf, which can make the leg look shorter and thicker than it really is. Pair your skirt with a more fitted top or tuck in your blouse to define the waist. Add a shoe with a bit of lift, like a nude wedge, a small heel, or even a sleek pointed flat. And suddenly, that same long skirt transforms into a silhouette that feels polished and intentional. And here's something else. If you love long skirts because they make you feel more covered, that's okay. Modesty is beautiful. But elegance doesn't mean hiding. It means honoring your body in a way that flatters and frees you. It's also worth thinking about fabric and movement. A long skirt made of heavy or stiff material can look bulky, while one that flows gently with your body adds grace and softness. Movement brings life into your outfit. And there's something deeply beautiful about that, especially at this stage of life. So the next time you reach for a long skirt, just pause and ask, is this lifting my look or pulling it down? Because you don't have to sacrifice comfort to look composed. With just a few small changes, your skirt can help you walk taller, feel lighter, and move with confidence. You've earned the right to show a little leg, or at the very least, let your legs show through the lines of your outfit. And trust me, it makes all the difference. Mistake number 9, wearing bulky, oversized clothing. Now we've arrived at one of the most common and often most misunderstood style traps for women over 60. Wearing bulky, oversized clothing. At first glance, it makes sense. As we get older, our bodies change. Things shift, soften, and settle in ways we didn't expect. And for many women, especially those who are petite, the instinct is to cover up, to choose clothes that are roomy, loose, or flowy in the name of comfort. It feels safe. It feels forgiving. But here's the truth. Oversized doesn't always equal flattering, especially when it comes to proportion. When you wear clothing that's too big, it often ends up doing the very thing you're trying to avoid, making you look larger, shorter, and less defined. It can take away all shape from your body, creating a silhouette that feels more like a blanket than an outfit. And for petite women, that lack of structure can swallow you whole. But don't worry, we're not talking about giving up comfort. You don't need to wear tight or restrictive clothes to look stylish. What you do need is balance, structure, and a little intention in how you choose your pieces. Instead of oversized, think lightly tailored. Choose clothing that follows the shape of your body without clinging to it. Look for pieces that have subtle seams, gentle darts, or even a bit of stretch that moves with you while still honoring your natural form. For example, instead of a boxy sweater that hangs straight from the shoulders, try a knit top that drapes softly but tapers slightly at the waist. Swap out that oversized tunic for a blouse you can tuck in or half tuck to give your body some shape. And consider layering with a cardigan that's structured at the shoulders or cropped at the hip. Both are small changes that have a big impact. When in doubt, try this simple rule. If your top is loose, keep the bottom more fitted. If your pants or skirt are flowy, pair them with a more structured or tucked-in top. This keeps your overall silhouette in harmony, rather than disappearing under too much fabric. And here's the most important part. Your clothing should work for you, not against you. It should support your presence, reflect your spirit, and carry your confidence, not hide it. You've lived too much life, gained too much wisdom, and walked through too many storms to hide now. So the next time you're shopping or dressing for the day, resist the urge to disappear into oversized pieces. Choose something that says, I'm still here, I still matter, And I still deserve to look and feel beautiful. Because you do. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope these tips help you feel more confident, more comfortable, and more yourself, because that's what true style is all about. Remember, you are not invisible. You deserve to feel beautiful every single day, not just for others, but for you. If this video brought you value, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Share it with someone you care about, a friend, a sister, a daughter, because we all deserve to feel seen and celebrated. And tell me in the comments, which style tip are you most excited to try? Until next time, stay kind to yourself and stay stylish.